What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I'm sharing swatches of the newest collection from Ice Cream Nails. I've got their Golden Hour collection and it's actually part of their Ice Cream Nails Plus line. So if you haven't heard of it before, it's a little bit different from their regular line. It does come in rectangular bottles instead of their little ice cream cone shaped bottles. It is still 10 free, meaning they're free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients. They're cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. They're also plant-based, breathable, and halal suitable. But this formula is actually their long wear line, and it does claim to have some strengthening ingredients in it. So it's a little bit bigger of a bottle, and it's meant to last a little bit longer. So yeah, this collection has 8 brand new nail polishes. We've got a variety of different, very creamy, opaque colors, and they all have a really beautiful, almost heathered golden shimmer running throughout. You'll see what I'm talking about in the swatches, but it definitely gives a really interesting effect. It's not like a mainstream shimmer. It's like, I don't know, this kind of speckly shimmer to it. And the colors aren't just like the Golden Hour shades. We have a really nice variety of colors from like the lighter sunset shades into the deep dusky colors. So let me show you the swatches first, then we can get into my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. I believe this was the KB Shimmer base coat. And I'm just gonna go basically in order from like sunset color. So starting off with the very warm shades, and of course I had to start with Sunset Glow. This one is a really beautiful, almost mustardy, brownish, orange, gold kind of color. And within that we have this beautiful golden flaky, and you can see it's just a little bit larger and a little bit more speckled than you would normally see in a mainstream polish. And you can also see just the tiniest hint of that heathered look with what I believe is kind of a reddish glitter in there. So you'll see it more in certain colors than others, but I think it's super gorgeous. Another thing about this one is it was incredibly opaque. So I did get full coverage in that first coat, which is absolutely amazing, especially for a yellow toned shade. Now, normally this type of color, I feel like it doesn't suit my skin tone because I'm very warm toned, but I think the speckles in there, or maybe just the undertone, something about it was working really well, and I actually found it to be pretty flattering. Next we have Glimmer Goddess, and here you'll see that heathered kind of look that I'm talking about a little bit better, and I'm not sure if it's actually the golden flakies just at a different angle or if it's a totally different color in there, but something about it gives such a dimensional look. I feel like paired with this blush toned pink base color, it almost reminds me of strawberry ice cream because you can see like little flecks of red and gold in there. Again, super incredibly opaque, pretty much a one coater, and it's just so creamy to apply these. I was so impressed with the opacity. And then we have the shade Luxe Life. This one is sort of a raspberry colored base color, so we've got this really beautiful deep pink color. Again, perfect one coat coverage. I would totally wear these as one coaters, and actually the one that I am wearing in the intro and outro of this video, I did wear in one coat, which I thought was really impressive. And again, we have those same golden flecks in there running throughout, and I feel like this color and the shimmer does remind me of a mainstream polish, but just something about it is a little bit elevated, and I think it's the randomness of that fleck in there. It just makes it look a little bit more special and a little bit more sparkly. And then we have the shade Afterglow, and this one is a really beautiful deep red base, and this one is a little bit more of a jelly-like formula, so you can actually see those golden flecks in there pretty much became red, but it still ended up giving very intense, beautiful coverage. And this color had a sort of velvety look to it for me. I feel like this would be so gorgeous, especially around Christmas time, but I think it would look so stunning with a matte top coat over it, just to kind of give it that real velvety sort of vibe. But overall, it's just a beautiful, vampy, classic kind of red. So now moving on to the cooler tones, we have this shade Golden Grit, and this one is in a very cool toned, darker purple base. And within that, again, we have that same golden flaky running throughout. This one I would actually say was probably the least opaque of the collection, and that being said, it was still very opaque. It was perfect coverage in 2 coats, but this is probably the only one that I don't think I could get away with wearing in one coat. Still really gorgeous. I love that strong contrast between the warm shimmer in there and that cool base color. And then we have the shade Chasing the Fade, and this one is a really deep navy blue base that also has the golden flaky shimmer in it. And this one feels like the same type of formula as Afterglow, the red polish, because this one also has that jelly-like consistency to it where those flakies kind of sink into the color and are transformed by it. So even though we have those same golden flecks in there, because it's paired with that navy blue, it almost makes them look greenish. So it kind of gives this like deep seawater kind of vibe to me. And then we have the shade Cold Gold. This is another blue base, but this one is very different. We have this very slightly dusty medium blue tone, and this one is definitely a cream finish, so this one is very, very opaque and totally a one coater, again with those beautiful golden flecks running throughout, and at certain angles you can see that reddish kind of tone in there. And I really don't see colors like this. I think it's such an interesting combination with the golden shimmer, but I've never seen a golden shimmer in a blue that doesn't make it look a little bit greenish, so I think it is just a really interesting contrast and a very beautiful color. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Last Light. This is actually what I'm wearing in the intro and outro, and I am wearing it in one coat. So we have this gray base color that is slightly on the warmer side, but it might just be my undertone reflecting that. And again, we have that beautiful golden fleck where you can also see a lot of this reddish pinky heathered shimmer in there. And I just love how pronounced that shimmer heathered look is. I think it's so interesting. I think it's so different. It reminds me of one of my favorite ice cream nail polishes of all time, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I couldn't get over this one. It might be my favorite, but it's really hard to decide because I love the formula of all of these. So here are all the polishes together, and I think we have a really nice split. So the top half are the sort of warmer sunsetty vibes, and then the bottom half are more of those dusky colors as the sky begins to get dark. So I think that was a really beautiful way of putting together this collection, and I love that even though this is golden hour, we got a really good variety of shades here. I think the formula is just incredible. I love how opaque it is. I feel like it's going to be really amazing for nail art, but just wearing on its own, it is so nice. And the ability to have a polish that is a little bit on the thicker side that you can wear in one coat is really convenient, especially if you're in a hurry. So I love that as well. I just think that the most exciting part about it is this shimmer though. I'm not sure if it translates as well on camera, but in person, I just think it's so funky and different. And I feel like it's just not something you see often in nail polishes. It just looks kind of textured in a way, even though it's not textured, but it just has this dimensionality to it that you really don't see in regular shimmers. So hopefully you're able to see at least a little bit in my swatches, but I think it's absolutely stunning. And I also think it's nice to see a couple of polishes with that more jelly-like twist on it, so you can see how the same shimmer performs in a slightly different formula. But yeah, really no notes for this collection. I think they did an amazing job, and I really love the color story here. I think they're very beautiful. When I first saw them in the bottle, I wasn't sure if I felt that it flowed nicely, but looking at them now, I think they actually did an amazing job with that. So yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So those are the polishes, and overall, I really loved these. I love how opaque they are, and I love that golden finish. I think there's just something about it that's so special. It reminds me of one of my favorite ice cream nails polishes of all time, which is Animalistic. There's just such an interesting texture that it gives. It does dry smooth and it feels smooth, but something about the look of it close up I just think is so intriguing. So I really enjoyed that. I will say these weren't the most self-leveling polishes. I think it's because they were on the thicker side because they're super opaque, but I didn't have a difficult time applying them, and I feel like even where I was a little bit sloppy, Top Coat did even that out really nicely. So now let's get into pricing and availability. Like I said, these bottles are a little bit different from the ice cream cone shaped bottles because it is their plus line. So we do have 12 milliliter rectangular bottles. They do still have a wide flat brush and it has a rounded tip, so application's easy. And they retail on the Ice Cream Nails website for $14.50 USD each. I do also have a discount code, so you can use the code KELLI20 to get 20% off your order. So I'll link that all down below, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the Ice Cream Nails Plus line if you've ever tried it? And which of these colors is your favorite? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's Would You Rather question is, would you rather always get free coffee or always get free dessert? I feel like this is a relatively easy one for me. It would have been more difficult before I started drinking caffeine again, which I have done in the last few months. But now that I am drinking coffee every day, I feel like the obvious answer for me would be to get free coffee every day. I do make it at home, but if I got free coffee every day, then I would go out and get it and I would get fun ones. Whereas dessert, I don't think I necessarily eat it every day, so I don't know that it would be worth it for me. But let me know your answer in the comments and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!